So we got the request to try out physical Kid Buu with his EZA on Kale's team, because of course Kale leads transformation boosts. Kid Buu not on Universe Survival Saga, obviously, or full power, but he will be getting the 170 on her team. And of course, you know, as long as you're above the HP threshold, Kid Buu is still giving a 60% support to superclass allies. So considering, you know, we have units like Kale, who once transformed can certainly be quite good, as well as Kefla on the team. We could certainly see some interesting numbers. So we're going to jump into the Buu absorption stage. I feel like this is a pretty good stage for testing out units at the moment, because it's one of the ones that's a little bit longer, but it's not super easy. Like the Barbady's Forces one, when it first came out, it was kind of fun to test out units against, but I feel like once you start bringing the more powerful teams, it becomes a little bit too easy. Especially with units like Kefla. Although we do literally have probably the worst starting rotation. Having both Kales on the same turn with no Caulifla is pretty terrible. So we basically just have to do this and hope we actually get some dodges in slot 1 here. So we'll do this and then do this. We'll just have to hope we come in clutch here. So, shout out to Aaron for re-upping his membership, an in-game club member for 5 months. Love to see it. 1 more month till I get the green mask. Yep, let's go. Alright, so Kefla taking a hit or two there, but, you know, not too much damage thanks to the type advantage. And then Kale post-super. I mean, she still has a Universe 6 ally, so she doesn't have a Caulifla on the rotation, but she's still going to be decent enough here. I'm not sure how well one of the AGL Kales would eat a super, especially the one in slot 3, but the more super attacks she gets off, the more damage reduction she has for the turn. So alright, so up to 9. I mean, you can see Kale is one of those units. We talked about her before when we've done some of these showcases of her team, but like, she's one of those units that it's very rare that this happens, right? Where the unit comes out and they don't get a ton of support. That part's not rare, but then later they get some of the buffs that they need, and then they're actually still good, because unfortunately that happens a lot where the buffs come out for a team later and then the original unit's just not good enough anymore, right? Like physical Turles, for example, like if his team was to get a bunch of buffs now, he's not that great in like the current difficult content, whereas like Kale can actually still be relatively good. So we're going to see how we get on here. We started, I think, below the HP threshold, so only I say, only the 50% support here. Now, of course, Kid Buu himself, we talked about this on the video where I put him in the superclass team with the Super Sensory Gokus and everything. He can just be on any team and provide support, whether it's superclass, extreme. He's just there, like, powering up everybody on the team. But, of course, he himself isn't really getting a lot of benefit out of being on this team, right? Because this rotation specifically, he only has Fierce Battle active. So once he's super attacked, it's not like he's going to have a crazy high attack stat here or anything. But obviously he's going to build up his damage reduction. As long as he doesn't get like immediately super attacked, then he should be alright. But of course, Tech Caulifla taking advantage of having a unit whose name includes Kale on the rotation. She's infinitely stacking. I think on this team build, she has slightly lower. She doesn't have a 100% dodge chance, especially because Kid Buu's on the team, but her dodge chance is pretty high. And of course, Kid Buu here is sealed, which is really awkward because he doesn't get his post-super defense, of course. If that was just a normal attack, because he has to get hit twice to get an extra 20% damage reduction, so this probably does a bit of damage. 144. That's not too bad, I guess. And then, yeah, a bit more. Did he get he got the 4 hits, didn't he? So, Kid Buu now built up. Kid Buu getting sealed is kind of awkward, because he does need that, oh, blimey, this is not a great setup for you. Yeah, Kale getting sealed is not great for us here. Alright, so let's go for... do this. Do this. And then, yeah, we'll just grab the STR orbs for Kefla so we can get a bit of a heal. Alright, so Kale, STR Kale, no Caulifla on the rotation, but she does have type advantage in this phase, so she should be okay. Both Tech Caulifla and STR Kale stack defense, so the more supers we get off, the better, which of course, you know, beneficial for them, these slightly longer runs. Kale not being able to super, though, is really bad. Any of these events that you can get sealed, there's so many of these characters that really want to super in order to get their defense, right? Now, normal attacks, okay, normal attacks were all good. 13 million for Kefla here. Can we finish off Buu? I mean, we only got 3 orbs, so she's not going to have her crazy, you know, 3 supers turn or anything like that, but she only needs 1 super to tank double digits. She didn't dodge the super, though. What are we taking from this? Shouldn't be too much. Yeah, 26k. Easy. Alright, so we want to try and get... Seriously, stop sealing Kale. Kale doesn't get a buff for like a certain number of turns when she transforms, does she? I can never remember whether you actually want to transform her straight away or not. Oh yeah, she gets 100% extra defense for 6 turns. So ideally you don't want to transform her straight away. So let's do this. This. What are you guys up to now? You're at 329. Do this. Because yeah, Tech Caulifla has a very high chance to dodge. It's not quite 100%, but it's per Universe 6 and then per Peppy Gal's ally, isn't it? So basically everyone on the team except for Kid Buu is a Universe 6 and Peppy Gal at the same time, right? So it'd be, what, including the friend as well, so it's 16 times 6. So she has a, oh yeah, she has a 96% chance to dodge on this team. So, you know, that 4% I'm sure will come into play at some point. We'll get super attacked and that 4% will come back to bite us. But we'll see how we get on. Because Kale and Caulifla, like, they got their EZA quite a while ago. They're definitely not the best suited unit for current difficult content. But, I mean, they infinitely stack defense as well as building up dodge chance. So, I mean, in best case scenario, they just never get hit at all. So, they could technically get us through these events, right? And, I mean, they're tanking double digits from the normals at this point. So, that's not too bad. Stop sealing everyone. I mean, I realise that is literally what he does in this phase, but no. Right, well, there's no way he survives because Kale's not sealed, so. Raditz versus Barbady's forces with Kid Buu on the team. Oh god, Chaditz himself. I mean, to be fair, in the Barbady's forces stage, until the final phase, you do have multiple enemies. So you can at least take advantage of the fact that he does have an AoE super attack, but probably on Super Saiyan mission for Kid Buu. Yeah, it's a tough one, especially if you don't have the new Goku. AGL Super Saiyan 3 Super EZA Goku is really good. Especially if you are going to try like the nuke strategy. Because like if you have LR, STR, Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegito, you could run a Buu Saga team where you use them as your leader, but then run a friend STR, a friend AGL Goku, like the AGL Super Saiyan 3. If I do this, we can't get 6 orbs for Kefla, can we? That's only going to drop that one down. If I do that... Oh yeah, those did not drop how I would have liked at all, did they? God, that's ridiculous. We're getting none of the defense or anything. Oof. Because yeah, what does she need to get the buff? Well, we need the extra defense, so I'm going to have to get at least the 2 orbs. Yeah, not ideal. I'll message you afterwards, Sokudo, don't worry. Alright, so Caulifla should be okay. I think it's... I mean, you know, every now and then a level 3 dodge comes in clutch, but I feel like that... Hopefully we're not going to see that 4% chance for her to actually get hit. Hopefully we're not going to see that come through here, but... What we really want to see is... I want a turn where we have, like, AGL Kale transformed, and then maybe like Kefla as well, and then Kid Buu in slot 3, but where we started the turn at 70% or more HP, so that Kid Buu's giving his full buff. And then I think that turn we're going to see some interesting numbers for sure, right? Because, I mean, we've been floating Kefla, so it's not like she's getting a crazy amount of build-up, but... And we haven't been super lucky with her orbs, really, either, to be fair, but yeah, I mean, Kale can still look pretty decent. I mean, she's not hitting the kind of attack stats that, like, you know, AGL Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku is hitting, but her defense is good after supering. I mean, she's not even transformed yet, right? But I think she can still be pretty decent, and now that her team actually has some of these buffs, I think that's pretty good. Right. Okay, so... what's your defense now? 516, and theirs is 557. And they have a lot of dodge. I feel like we could just keep them here for now. Float off Kale. And then I think we'll float off the other Kale on the next turn, and then have start transforming them after that, potentially. Oh, great. All of that dodge. They dodged the normal eat the super, because of course they did. Alright, so we're back at the STR Buhan part. We're actually able to get decent orbs for Kefla this turn as well. Now, Kefla did get sealed a couple of times in the early part here, which is a bit annoying. The dodge insert thing came up so late that I really thought she was going to get hit by that. Like I said earlier, that 4% chance is going to bite me at some point, I swear. But I mean, if Caulifla gets enough stacks of her defense, she could at least potentially tank a normal, at least, right? If that 4% does come in at some point. But would GT bosses stand a chance against Barbady's forces? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's one of those events where you could actually get like STR Super 17 out, and then he would be kind of good against Buu and Barbady at the end, right? Because not only are they physical, but they have a Ki Blast super attack. So that could be good. I wouldn't be surprised if Global doesn't get turned about. Yeah, it's interesting to see, because like we talked about it on the podcast last night again, like it could easily be a thing that does happen. But hopefully we'll find out some news soon though, because we are at probably the latest point that we have been in the last few years in this sort of time, right, getting towards the end of May, where we haven't had a producer layer or any sort of in-game confirmation or teaser or anything like that as to what is actually coming next. We haven't had anything yet at all. And last year, by now, we'd seen like a producer layer that said about what was coming next, which was obviously the STR 17s that fused into Super 17. Now, if we follow the usual schedule and we get the first Dokkan Fest that JP gets after the anniversary as our pre-anniversary Dokkan Fest, which is what's happened for the last couple of years, then AGL Frieza will be the next thing that comes out on Global. But obviously, there's all this speculation about Tanabata. I mean, look at Kefla absolutely destroying Buhan there as well. That's I'd love to see that. Right, what are you up to now? 635k. That's pretty good. I probably should start thinking about transforming some of these Kales soon, and then switching them to being like the first rotation characters. But it's because we only get the buff for like a couple of turns, so I don't want to transform her too early. But yeah, if we follow the last year schedule and the year before, and I think even the year before that, it'll be Frieza. So it's the first Dokkan Fest after the anniversary for JP. And then after Frieza, it'll be LR Ginyu, because it's the LR that comes out around the April time slot. So last year, that was Super Buu coming out as part 2 for Kale on JP. This year, Ginyu coming out as part 2 for Topo. So the global thing should be Frieza into LR Ginyu Force. But who knows, right? Things can always change. As we said, like Tanabata coming first for global, there's the part of me that's like, yeah, that's so hype. Like, it's a global first, and it's, you know, Tanabata, Dokkan Fest LR, and then a Carnival LR. But then there's obviously the other side of you that's like, oh, 2 more banners to summon on before the anniversary comes to global. So unless they make those units insanely good, I think most people, it's still going to be just like Saiyan Day, just like Golden Week. A lot of people are just going to be focusing on the anniversary and skipping those characters. So be interesting to see if it does happen and how good they actually will be. But yeah, I guess we will find out fairly soon. Yeah, see, we're above 70% HP, so I wonder how hard Kale will actually hit here. Because we're still pre-transformation, but we've got the links from Caulifla, and we've got the 60% support from Kid Buu. So, yeah, Rasul, how's it going? Yeah, so even Caulifla hitting a 7.1 mil here. I mean, that's the thing. These, like I say, her and STR Kale are infinite stacking units, so the longer the event goes on, the better they're going to look. So, oh, well, there you go. Caulifla just going to handle this guy. Kale doesn't get a chance to attack. I brought the Sensu Beans to deal with the annoying locking and sealing and stuff, so I think we've used one already getting back to this point, but... Alright, so they're locked in slot 3. I floated off a Kale though, didn't I? So by the time we get this rotation back again, we are going to have Kale, so that's fine. So I think we actually don't need to worry about them being in slot 3 at all for this turn, actually. So let's do that. Alright, so STR Kale slot 1. She's got the guard. We've got a unit whose name includes Caulifla on the rotation, so she's going to be pretty good. Yeah, exactly. I don't think Tanabata will be better than Beast Gohan. I mean, if it's in their best interest if they want people on Global to summon for the Tanabata unit, if it does come out first, then making the unit better than Beast Gohan would obviously be the smart play. Because even for JP, they'll get the Tanabata in July, and if the unit's better than Beast Gohan, then even the people who got Beast Gohan from the anniversary on JP will then want to summon for the Tanabata LR. So in terms of like business and how they get the most money and like most people to summon, it would make a lot of sense if they made the Tanabata Dokkan Fest LR better than Beast Gohan. And then of course for Global, people would be very tempted to like blow their anniversary funds summoning for that unit. And then of course once the anniversary starts and all the hype is going on with the community and everything, some of those people that did spend their whole anniversary fund would then potentially be tempted to just restock, right, and buy more stones to summon for Gogeta, Broly, Beast Gohan, Gammas, etc. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't know. I mean, Beast Gohan is so crazy, but they could make a Tanabata Dokkan Fest LR who is better than him. That 4%, we saw it. There we go. And unfortunately, it was only a normal attack that did double-digit damage, so that's fine. We'll take that. Oh, that's going a bit slower than I thought. Tanabata unit hasn't been better than the anniversary LR since Vegeta and Trunks. Vegeta and Trunks came out as the... Well, they were the 7-year. Yeah, I suppose... I don't know. I guess they were considered like the best unit in the game. I mean, the 7-year LRs were really good, and they aged fairly well. But yeah, I mean, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I would say, is definitely not better than the GT duo. There definitely are arguments for him being better than the Buu duo, but I wouldn't say he's better than the GT duo. They are very different units, though, of course, as well. Like, Goku's designed to be in slot 1, but the GT duo are absolutely not, right? So they get all their defense on Super, and even when they build up their damage reduction, they still need to Super to get their actual raw defense. The Z duo, they're not trash, they're just like... Honestly, the best thing about them is still the standby. Like, when they're in their standby, they're really tanky, and then the Spirit Bomb can do loads of damage. It's just the fact that their, like, base form is not particularly impressive. That's not bad. Kale tanking the Tech Buu Piccolo Super for 30k. It's pretty good. Imagine it's Super Saiyan 2 Gohan who switches into one-arm Family Kamehameha Gohan after the target skill for Tanabata. That would be pretty awesome. And then, yeah, like a Dokkan Carnival LR Perfect Cell. That would be pretty fire, to be fair. I finally beat the Power Beyond Super Saiyan mission while watching the stream again. I have completed all the Buu Saga Red Zone missions. Nice! Good work, Cade. Roshi DF, Dokkan Fest in between major celebrations. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, right? Like a DB Saga character, especially Roshi being an important character to the story. Like, a character like that is a perfect choice for a filler Dokkan Fest. They just have to make them actually good, right? Ooh, this is going to be a spicy turn. Alright, so he's not actually attacking in slot 1, he's only healing. So the problem is you don't get... What do you not get for having no Caulifla? Oh, it's just it's extra attack and defense. Man, she'd have an extra 160% defense on this turn if we had a Caulifla. Does she guard? I can't remember. Where is the thing about her guard? 6 million zeros on the team. Oh, it's only, yeah, it is guard when Caulifla's on the rotation. So if Caulifla's not on the rotation, she doesn't actually have guard. So probably should let Kefla get the finish here. But Kefla with the Kid Buu support, it's gonna be a spicy turn here. Yeah, 25.5 mil. It's pretty good. Yeah, alright. Just a 17 million crit. Alright, we'll take those. Alright, well, we got to Buff Buu. Buff Buu probably gets clapped here. Kale and Caulifla got up to 514k. That's not too bad. The Tech Caulifla basically on 800k. And Kale's at 662 start of turn. So... I mean, Kid Buu on this team, obviously, as we said earlier on in the video, like, Kid Buu himself is not exactly giving his greatest performance. Most of the time, he's going to have one link active, which is Fierce Battle. But, as we said many times now while talking about physical Kid Buu, he's one of those units that you could just kind of throw into any team that he fits on. And yeah, he gets the 170% leader skill from Kale, so he works decently well enough on this team. 11 million here from AGL KALE. And this team definitely benefits from events that are a little bit longer. Like with all the units that are stacking. Like the fact that we even got away with using LR KALE and Caulifla. They're doing an 8.9. It's kind of crazy to think how like ridiculous this unit was when they first released. Compared to now, like even with their EZA, they've kind of aged a little bit, but we can still get away with using them at least. I didn't quite get the finish though. You know, the one big thing that is a real shame about Kefla is the not being able to use her active skill if you don't have a Pure Saiyan or Universe Survival Saga ally, because you just don't get to see it in any of these events. Now when the anniversary content comes out, there's a bunch of events where we will get to see her active skill. So it's interesting, of course, that her EZA is still not out on JP, but once some of that anniversary content starts dropping with the Pure Saiyan enemies, like, Kefla's just going to be even better, which will be a lot of fun, because she's on a lot of good teams, right? She's on the new Goku 200% lead, so definitely going to be very good. But there you go. So that was Kid Buu on the Kale team. I used the items just to get around annoying ceiling earlier on, which, you know, we didn't necessarily have to do, but it's kind of fun to show off some of these teams in this event and not have to worry about getting locked or sealed. But yeah, Kid Buu on the Kale team allows some of these units, especially especially STR Kefla, I should say, to go a little bit crazy. So yeah, there you go. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.